So camp's first summer was 1947. A lot of the facilities have changed, yet they look the same. I have kept one old cabin that I was a counselor in just because I cannot part with it yet. We have painting in that cabin. Our cabins are modern and rustic. Most of the cabins either have wood or tile floors in them. And it's unique in the way that it's still that rustic look with that modern convenience of having a bathroom inside. The progression of the cabin's very intentional. All of our cabins are different for the different age groups because it's part of the growing experience. Our younger cabins have 14 to 16 girls in it and 3 to 4 counselors because they need a little more attention. They may need a little more help during cabin cleanup.
When you're younger, like really young, you're in hut row, all the cabins are the same on the inside, and the counselors are really involved in all your activities that you do and like getting ready for stuff. They really help you get ready.
And then as they graduate out of hut row, our youngest area, they'll move to the lodge. They don't need as much help. We have about 14 girls in those cabins and 3 counselors, 2 senior counselors and a junior counselor. And we still have that small environment, even though we have 5 cabins in one big building, and they have that common area where they can all talk and mingle, but it's still on what we call the hut row side of the river.
And as you get older, you get more responsibility on your own. Like the counselors can tell you, get ready for bed, and you know what to do. As you get older, it's more understood what you do, and it's more up to you what you do.
Graduating from that and moving across the river is such a big deal to these girls. I mean, you can see them when they find out what cabin they're in, they're yelling, they're screaming, they're excited about it. And Summer Place is that first step with them that's almost like a dorm style building. It has 2 rooms in a suite style, so you have 2 rooms that share a big bathroom. They don't have the counselors that are right there in the room with them. They have their rooms that are on either end of the building, and they're starting to build more of their relationships with each other. And then when they graduate to Riverside, which is our oldest cabin, once you're in Riverside, you have arrived.
Riverside used to be a hotel. It was built, I believe, 1905. When it got so old that we had to tear it down, we had a lot of people call and email say, you can't tear it down, because the girls would write their names everywhere in it. So we cut out 87 sections of the old Riverside Hotel that had legible names written on it. We rebuilt it exactly the same, and then took those 87 pieces, put them back together, framed them, and hung them on the new walls to keep the history of the old hotel there.
It is set up with each room having 4 or 6 girls in it, and they have their own bathroom. So we have 8th grade to 11th grade in that building. That's where all of our leaders are.
Plus, they get to sleep in a little bit later because they have breakfast brought to them in their cabin, because they have a dining area in their cabin.
They have a huge area where they convene and laugh and talk and play cards and stay up late.
I loved being hut row, and I loved being in the lodge and Summer Place. Those were all super fun. But Riverside also does get a lot more freedom in what we do.
And one of the other advantages to being at Riverside or Summer Place, when you cross the river, is you get to stay up later. You have your own campfire, because the devotions are a little more age appropriate for the older girls on that side of the river than they are for the 6 and 7, 8-year-olds on this side of the river. Another thing is, all of them very intentionally have large porches and rocking chairs for the girls to hang out and communicate, again, face to face, talking to each other, and just do the old-fashioned talking, communicating, and enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, building those relationships.